Turkey was a major talking point last week after it announced a 3-month state of emergency following last Friday's failed coup attempt. Now, the Turkish lira fell to an all-time low against the US dollar during the week. The sell-off in the lira is picking up some more momentum. Past at 310, the US dollar could gain another 5 to 10 figures to the 315-320 zone. Some traders are wondering whether or not they should jump on the back of a bull in dollar try. LCG's İpek Özkardeşkaya calls for caution in highly volatile Turkish lira markets, highlighting that potentially more political squeezes could be ahead. Risks of unscheduled rate action from the Turkish bank could be brought on the table after the central bank courageously cut its lending rate by 25 basis points earlier in the week. Hence, any emergency rate action could sharply reverse the uptrend in dollar try and hit the long positions, so stop losses are highly recommended. The Japanese yen swung up and down on confusion regarding expectations from the Bank of Japan. Nikkei reported that Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is pressuring for 30 trillion yen worth of additional stimulus to boost growth and inflation, while Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda said there is no need and no possibility for helicopter money. This was in a BBC interview broadcast on Thursday, which was apparently recorded in mid-June. Now, if true, this brings us to the pre-Brexit era, hence we do not know if Mr. Kuroda still thinks that injecting more liquidity would be appropriate or not. Now, of course, traders are confused who said what, when and why. But the truth is that the Brexit may have changed or will certainly change forecasts regarding growth and inflation, even in Japan. However, hopefully traders will not stay in the dark for too long, as the Bank of Japan will announce its latest decision as soon as next Thursday. Now, the dollar-yen remains in a bullish trend above the 104.60 mark, which is the major 38.2% retracement. Resistance is eyed at 107 before 107.40, a 100-day moving average. Overseas, the Federal Reserve will also announce its rate decision next week. Now, we expect the Fed to remain on hold and give a cautious accompanying statement, given the rising political and economic risks following the Brexit vote. Now, the expectations of a Fed rate hike by the end of the year have now faded to zero. In fact, the market has actually started to price in a Fed rate cut instead. There's currently around a 50% chance for the Fed to cut rates by March 2017, according to the latest data. Now, last but of course not least, the UK will release the second quarter GDP data next week, and the UK's growth data is expected to be revised on the upside. Nevertheless, the second quarter data will certainly remain under the shadow of post-Brexit figures. Now, unfortunately, the latest PMI read from the UK, which was the first insight into a piece of economic data following the country's decision to leave the EU, suggested a sharp contraction in both manufacturing and services sectors. Now, of course, a single data point is not enough to drive conclusions on the future, but each and every soft data will increase pressure on the Bank of England to lower rates, to potentially avert a potential economic crisis following the Brexit. Now, the market currently gives a 90% chance for a rate cut by December by the Bank of England. Now, that's all for the week ahead, but join us next week. In the meantime, have a lovely rest of the weekend and goodbye for now.